And now for our next news special report.
Tonight we're unpacking a story that's igniting conversations across America. Picture a nation grappling with turbulence, a nation where your hard-earned dollars are losing their worth by the day. New Hampshire, a voice of defiance rang out. Former President Donald Trump, in a rally that galvanized thousands, vowed to bring our country back from hell. He didn't just speak, he thundered against the Biden administration's inflation catastrophe and its crippling effects on everyday Americans. This isn't merely a political skirmish, it's a battle cry for a nation in distress. As we analyze Trump's potent mix of criticism and commitment, we'll uncover the words that are just more than that. They're sharp. We find a blueprint for national resurgence, a plan to lift America from the depths of economic despair. So stay with us as we explore this crucial story, and remember, the final thought is something you can't afford to miss. Now, before we dive into our main story, let's talk about something that's equally pressing. Just like the robust news we deliver you every day, the strength of our nation's economy is vital. Gold, a symbol of enduring value, has soared past $2,000 an ounce. The surge mirrors the tumultuous times we're witnessing: wars abroad, economic uncertainty, and inflation under Biden's administration. Remember the 1970s? We're seeing a similar scenario unfold. Our national debt is skyrocketing, and with it, the value of gold is climbing. This brings to mind Trump's warning about the U.S. dollar's fragile standing. It's a stark reminder of the need for stability, much like the unwavering reporting we promise you. Now, make sure you hit Patriot Gold Group. There's a link in the description. The number's on the screen. Call them for your free investor guide, 888-857-9437. Mention Next News for best-in-class service. Now back to our main story. As the frosty air of New Hampshire evening settled, a fervent energy electrified the crowd, and they gathered in anticipation. Thousands of staunch reporters, a mosaic of American resilience, congregated to hear a voice that once steered the nation, a voice promising to do so again. And Donald Trump took the stage amid roaring applause under the banner of restoring America's lost glory. He didn't just speak, he thundered with a conviction that resonated with every heart in the audience. Let's watch.
Thank you. Wow. Have we ever seen spirit like we have right now? Have we ever seen it? I don't think so. You know why? Because we gave them a chance, and they're destroying our country. They're destroying our country. Hello, New Hampshire. I'm thrilled to be back in your beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. And let me begin by wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. Remember? We couldn't say that. Seven years ago, they didn't want us to say it, but we now say it proudly, and people are saying it right back at us. We're just 38 days away from New Hampshire's first in the nation primary, and you know why you're first in the nation? Because I kept you first in the nation. And I have to say, unlike Biden, he didn't keep you first in the nation. That we know. On Tuesday, January 23rd, we're going to win the New Hampshire primary, and then we're going to crush crooked Joe Biden next November, and we're going to make America great again. During this holiday season, families all across America are struggling under the brutal weight of Crooked Joe's failures, disasters, and heartless betrayals. You know that? While the stock market is making rich people richer, Biden's inflation catastrophe is demolishing your savings and ravaging your dreams. His sky-high energy prices, nobody's ever seen anything like it, are brutalizing your wallets. Our border has been erased. We have no border any longer. Drugs, criminals, gang members, and terrorists are pouring into our country. They're running wild in our Democrat-run cities, while Christians and conservatives are persecuted. And thanks to Crooked Joe's breathtaking weakness, he is bad. Worst president in history. The world is going up in flames while you suffer the ravages of inflation and your buying power goes down to levels never seen before. Your buying power has never been seen anything like this before. Joe Biden is a low IQ individual. He is truly the worst, most incompetent, and most corrupt president in the history of our country. But with your vote in this election, together we're going to save America and we're going to bring our country back from hell. It's in hell. It's in hell. Not one thing has gotten better under crooked Joe Biden. Under the Trump administration, you were better off. Oh, you were better off. Your family was better off. Your neighbors were better off. Your communities were better off. And your country as a whole was better off. America was stronger, richer, safer, and more confident than ever. When you had a certain gentleman behind the desk, that beautiful, resolute desk in the Oval Office. What was his name? His name was Trump, happened to be Trump. But it was all of you, actually. In a certain sense, you were all sitting behind that desk because that's what we're all doing together. We're in this together. We have a fight to save our country. We have a fight to save our country. Were you better off 5 years ago, or are you better off today? No contest. There's no contest. Nobody would say today. What a difference a president can make. It really does make a difference, a big difference, bigger than even I thought. If you go back 7, 8 years, I never thought it could make. It makes a tremendous difference. Since Joe Biden took over, we've had a 3-year inflation rate of over 20%. Under my leadership, inflation was non-existent. We had gasoline at $1.87 a gallon. After 3 years of Bidenomics, they call it Bidenomics from hell, the average monthly mortgage payment has gone from $1,746 under my administration to $3,322 today, but you can't get the money, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Biden's handlers are making the banks much richer and making you much poorer. The handlers, they are making the banks rich, and the banks discriminate against conservatives. They discriminate against religion, because they're afraid of the radical left, I suspect. I think the bank regulators are doing a big number in the banks because they're not allowed to do business with you. And we're going to get those banks when we get in office. We're going to get them. Nobody knows the banking industry better than me. And I'm not going to let them take advantage of you any longer. They've taken advantage, and what they do to the people in this room, and by the way, millions and millions of others, is a disgrace. We're going to end it. Joe Biden and the Democrat Party are incapable of solving any problem. They haven't solved anything. They've only created problems. As long as Joe Biden is in the White House, the American dream is dead. But all of that will change the minute the polls close on election night 2024. It's going to end. It's going to end. The next economic boom will begin the instant the world knows that crooked Joe Biden is gone and Donald J. Trump has won 4 more years as President of the United States. Powered by the momentum of our historic victory, and that will be truly the biggest. I think we probably have #1 spot. I don't even think there's much of a doubt about it. 2016, but this is bigger. This is bigger. I never thought I'd say it. This is bigger.
The Trump speech was an intricate tapestry weaving scathing critiques of the current administration with promises of a brighter future under his leadership. Point by point, he dismantled the failures of President Biden's tenure, painting a vivid picture of a nation in distress under crooked Joe's rule. First, he focused on the spirit of America, a spirit he claimed was stifled under Biden's presidency. He reminisced about the times when saying Merry Christmas was a controversy, suggesting a restoration of traditional values and freedoms under his watch. This isn't just about a festive greeting, it's a symbol of a broader cultural shift that he intends to bring, rekindling what he views as the true American spirit. And turning to the economy, Trump zeroed in on inflation, a sore point for many Americans. He labeled it as a Biden inflation catastrophe, illustrating how it's demolishing savings and ravishing dreams. His portrayal of skyrocketing energy prices and their impact on the common citizen was more than an economic critique. It was an empathetic acknowledgement of the everyday struggles faced by millions. His narrative then shifted to national security, particularly the U.S. border. He depicted a dire scenario where the border has been erased, leading to an influx of drugs, criminals, and terrorists. This rhetoric wasn't just about border control. It was a call to protect American values and safety, contrasting his administration's policies with what he sees as Biden's failures. And he didn't stop there. He took aim at Biden's global standing, labeling his foreign policy as breathtaking weakness. This wasn't just a commentary on international relations. It was a deeper reflection on national pride and strength, areas where he promised marked improvement. And perhaps the most poignant part of his speech was his appeal to the collective memory of his audience. He asked, "Were you better off 5 years ago?" Well, this question wasn't merely rhetorical. It was a strategic reminder of the prosperity that he claims his administration brought, a stark contrast to the current state of affairs. And Trump's vision for America's future was clear: a return to economic prosperity, national security, and global respect. He promised an end to what he described as the American dream being dead under Biden's watch. And his words painted a picture where this dream is not only revived but thriving. On the economic front, Trump lambasted Biden's handling of the economy. He contrasted the current economic turmoil with his administration's achievements, citing low inflation rates and affordable gas prices during his tenure. This comparison was designed to invoke nostalgia for a time of economic stability and growth. And the housing market under Biden was another critical point for Trump. He highlighted the significant increase in average monthly mortgage payments, using it as an example of the current administration's ineffectiveness. And Trump's commitment to reversing this trend wasn't just a policy promise, but a pledge to restore the American dream of home ownership. Banking policies under Biden also came under fire. Trump accused the current administration of enriching banks at the expense of the average American. He promised to regulate banking practices more effectively and was vowing to protect the financial interests of his supporters. And Trump's critique extended to the Democrats' overall ability to govern. He painted the party as incapable of solving problems, only creating them. In his eyes, every issue from inflation to national security is exacerbated by their policies. This was a strategic move to position himself as a solution to the nation's woes. As he concluded, Trump's words transformed from critique to rallying cry. He envisioned the next economic boom, starting the movement that he is reelected. And the moment he's reelected, a moment he described as the beginning of America's recovery. His confidence in a future under his leadership was palpable, a beacon of hope for his supporters. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe, because just like the unwavering commitment Trump pledges for America's resurgence, we're dedicated to bringing you the most critical and impactful stories affecting our nation. Now, in conclusion, as we reflect on former President Trump's impassioned speech in New Hampshire, it's not just about a political campaign, it's about the future of our republic. Trump's narrative, contrasting the current turmoil under Biden with the prosperity of his previous term, is more than a critique. It's a call to action. It's a reminder of what was once and what could be again. As 2024 approaches, it's imperative for those who believe in Trump's vision of America to make their voices heard at the polls. Voting for Trump is not just a vote for an individual, it's a vote for a return to policies that prioritize economic stability, national security, and American values. It's a vote to reclaim the American dream that many feel has slipped away. This election is a pivotal moment in our history. It's a chance to bring our country back from the brink and restore the greatness that we know America is capable of.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.